notice the presentation of my curated show of the artist MEG who is presenting a very contemporary surrealistic approach to painting. And it conveys a symbolic reference to civilizations, to religions, and into also the inner part of the artist, into her inner expressions of herself, of the very important critical moments that she exorcised through the paintings.
I've always been an artist. I started drawing when I was 1 year old, and I've been a painter and a printmaker most of my life. Behind me are 3 paintings from a series of 4, the 4 Horses of the Apocalypse series. White Horse, the Red Horse, and the Pale Horse. There is a 4th painting, Black Horse, that comes between the Red Horse and the Pale Horse. These were conceived shortly before COVID, and when COVID came down, it really gained a lot of meaning for me personally, and just meaning for humanity, because it seemed like end times at that time. My 4 horses are kind of a journey through the time that you would go through, starting with the most understandable to humanity, going to the least understandable, when everything is dissolving and disrupting. So the first horse is White Horse, which represents conquest or pestilence. Some people interpret this as the return of Christ. More recently, it's been interpreted as the Antichrist bringing about the apocalypse. So my rider of the White Horse is descending from the heavens. He's very serene in his task of beginning the apocalypse. From his robe rains arrows. These are delivering the pestilence to humanity. And he is wearing a princely garb in the role of conquest. In the time of COVID, when it started, nations began arguing with each other, and there was a fear that we would go to war. And this is sort of the meaning of this in that moment. He's riding in, he's serene, heralding the apocalypse, avenging angels are coming up, and replicating RNA is coming from his head, radiating through the sky. The second painting, Red Horse, represents war. And this is not a war among nations like conquest, but it's rather war among men. And so the rider of the Red Horse is a symbol of the rage and violence inherent in humanity. So he is riding this fiery horse. His sword is upwielded. He's riding over a field of human skulls, and fire and bone and viscera are growing up as a forest behind him. So during COVID, the next stage, people became more violent. It was not very safe in Miami when I lived here, and that was a scary time for everyone. The next horse, the Black Horse, is famine, and he's followed by the Pale Horse, which the rider is death. Death is usually represented as a skeleton, but to me, death is the absence of life. Death is a void. It's a blackness that we don't really understand. We have a lot of beliefs about. So he's the least understandable in the least understandable environment as everything dissolves. So this painting here is called Descent into Illuminated Dream, which is also the title of this show. And it was, a lot of times I paint my dreams. So this was a dream that I had, that I was sinking headfirst into dark waters, and I was looking up at my body, and all of my dreams were running across my body. They were illuminated. In painting this, I wanted to find a way to represent the dreams that were not so literal, so that the viewer could bring themselves to the painting. So there are focal points within the body that have sort of main characters of the dreams. And then radiating from these figures are smaller images, sort of repeating, which is intended to show how we repeat things in life, these activities or ideas. So the viewer can juxtapose these images and bring themselves to the dreams. Behind me is our sea snakes descending down, which were not in the dream, but I wanted to show, convey the danger that I was in, and then the downward movement in the painting.
So enjoy the works. Each one of them represents a momentum of expression of life in symbolic connection to oniric dreams and to esoteric relationships to civilization.